Hello everyone, this is Sisir and I am UiPath MVP 2021 Automation Architect HP Inc. Today I'll be walking you through one of interesting topic that is NLP with RPA. You must be familiarized with both the words separately, but during this particular session, I will walk you through how really we are using NLP with RPA that's together. So as we know, NLP is definitely as part of the industry today is helping a lot of challenges in terms of chatbot and different document understanding and processing. And RPA is helping in terms of process automation. Before we begin, let's really give you a bit of understanding what is RPA is all about. RPA, which stands for Robotic Process Automation, is a approach which is helping business today in terms of replacing the mundane human work by a software robot. By definition, it definitely says it's a software technology which makes life easier for human users to mimic the interaction what human does today. Very typical example I can say. Let's take an example of a industry where there is an operation team who are doing the work of invoice processing repeatedly day in day out. What that really does is they read an invoice copy and extract the entire content right into a SAP or an ERP application. If you see this entire process, there is no human brain involved, but it is just mundane work you will keep on repeating again and again for multiple documents. So RP is trying to resolve that particular challenge where it helps in terms of processing your document multiple times. Like it try to mimic the entire action. It with this particular technology, we will be able to take the entire transactional details in a data extraction mechanism and then write into the ERP application very automated way. So that's how RP is helping with surface automation, maybe background automation and all. But that's just not record and play. As a whole, it has a lot of options which is available. And today in the industry, UiPath is one of the key technology and platform which enabling us to develop software robots. If you see further with UiPath, there are four different buckets where the platform is entirely setting into: discover, build, manage, and engage. If I could quickly touch on this part, so discover is basically if you are really struggling to find out what is my key automation area where automation can best fit or UiPath can help you to automate the task. So a couple of tools available there like Automation Hub, Task Capture, Process Mining, and Task Mining. Build is basically the platform which helps developers to create the automation using low code and no code platform. That's a studio family. Manage is nothing but how you're really orchestrating or managing the entire automation platform in a cloud environment. Engage is when you're really thinking about human and bot action, like where the bot is really replace the task and it is doing on behalf of user, but it's definitely needed how you really engage with the human user to give the information back, or sometimes you may need human assistant as well. So that's where the entire platform is built on. Today we'll primarily discuss on engage and as well as manage. So within manage we have a AI center capability which really helping us in terms of how we can bring NLP capability to cognitive automation space, right? So what is the problem statement? If you really think about automation today, automation is trying to mimic the human action. If there is no brain activity, it's trying to do the activity on behalf of you. But if you bring the NLP, it's making the entire RPA platform to cognitive space. What does it mean? For example, suppose think about a scenario where you have a lot of document and you have to extract the document which is unstructured or semi-structured nature. Or maybe there are a lot of email content which where you have to apply some sentiment analysis, understand the language behind that particular email content, and then take some actions. In such cases, there are scenarios you cannot do a fully automated solution, and also there are challenges where you think, I have a model, how I really makes this model functional, or how my business will start using it. That's where we can bridge this entire technology together with the help of AI Center, and AI Center will help you to bring your AI model and then integrate with RPA, so you start working with seamlessly, and you're really helping business to achieve things. How this really works: AI Center is one of the UiPath product which helps us to deploy ML skill or take advantage of predefined ML skill as well. For example, let's say in your organization, you get some data science team who are having a lot of ML models created. Let's maybe it is a NLP based, or maybe doing some lot of data extraction or different customized model. So you can bring that model, let's say you extracted pickle file, and follow certain standard just to make it AI center upload version, and you bring that model, just upload it, and you can also load your training data set where you can retrain your model to improve the accuracy, and also publish it to make it available for the UiPath robot. So what happened is the entire platform of managing your customized model, and also make it available very seamless and no code approach. Once the model is published, using UiPath Studio, a RPA developer or maybe a business user can able to use this particular technology of AI Center, and with a drag and drop control, you are really giving a functionality of your AI models on a fingertip of the users, right? As I said, it is truly a no code and low code platform. So once your model is ready, you start using it in real life problem. And there are various scenarios you can think of where it really fit into. Let's take an example how some of this component from UiPath really coming into picture when it thinks about the RPA platform with AI Center. First thing is AI Center, which is help you to take advantage of some pre-trained model. So UiPath is helping to publish multiple AI Center pre-trained models, for example, language analysis, object detection, or it could be your document understanding. We are coming with a lot of documents are trained on top of this, so you can take advantage of this pre-trained model and load your data set and get the data extracted. And there are scenarios where you can bring your own model with the help of your data science team and make it available. For some scenarios where you need a human intervention, for example, your bot is bot executed with AI centered model, but it still needs some validation station where it needs to validate whatever the bot does is correct. Then there is a concept called Action Center. You can use this tool where you can validate what extraction is done and also take action against it. And the other tools and technology come in Studio, which helps us to integrate the platform in terms of development. Robot helps you to execute and perform the task. Let's further understand one of the part which is again further robust, that is document understanding. So if you see today's challenge in document understanding, what happened? Business today receive a lot of document. For example, your document which has needs to be manually extracted, the multiple type of document, for example, invoice, PO, purchase order, your receipt, and all different documents. And you need to manually extract and interrupt whenever this task needs to be done. And varieties types of document, you have multiple vendors, you have to extract the content from multiple vendors. It takes a lot of time because it is unstructured, and you have sometimes you receive scanned image as well, right? It is not necessarily it is going to be a digital PDF always. Sometimes it could be scanned image, and there is this, whenever you start capturing document, it is very high chances you'll use a human error and rework and different type of manual intensive work activity. And what could be the solution for that? So the solution for that is using AI centered document understanding capability. You will be able to use this entire task delegated to the entire AI bot. So instead of you being extracting the content, you can really load the content to a designated folder and extract using your UiPath and AI Center, where it will extract the content using your document understanding ML model and save the file into a Excel file, let's say, or it could be any type of system, and it can be run 24 by 7. You really don't need to govern it, monitor it, how the extraction is going on. Cost and time effective for sure, and accuracy and faster. And it also give you a accuracy level saying what is my confidence level with the extraction. And this is completely AI powered solution where you can keep on improving the scale of the solution. So this is how the entire platform sit together. One is your RPA. As I said, this is the platform which is helping us to mimic human action, like whatever the structure the work you keep on doing repeatedly, you're giving back to a software robot. Document understanding is basically when you have extraction capability needs to be there as part of a semi-structured unstructured document, and AI really helping in terms of in building or applying intelligence, because sometimes your document extraction can happen through a simple OCR, but document understanding is not only about OCR, right? You have to apply your model, you have to apply AI to intelligently analyze your document to say, okay, with this particular document, what is the real content of invoice? There are variety of invoice document you may receive. There are variety of scenarios you may think, okay, the invoice may appear in this and this format. So document understanding is really helping you applying this AI and RPA capability to extract the real content out of it. So furthermore, there are various types of document you may really get, like handwritten, signature, checkboxes, variety of templates. So with document understanding, you're really going to analyze all this variety of document, and whatever the type of document it is, you just process it with this capability of AI Center. It extract all different varieties and give you the document back. Some of the scenario how it's really extract, it can be extracted through a regular expression extractor, it can be extracted through a form extractor, or it can be an intelligent form extractor, machine learning extractor. If you think this, regular expression is just a simple regex extraction, but when it comes for a form intelligent machine learning extractor, there is some ML component involved. And you can think of some hybrid approach as well. For example, you loaded a document, it can be classified and processed to one of this model, and based on the accuracy it will suggest which one is the best accuracy and the respective rule is applied. This can be hybrid approach as well. So this is one of the framework how we really can think of implementing this mechanism, right? So you have a document, let's say you have a use case in business where you have to extract uh, document details. So you can have a taxonomy, basically your schema. So you can have a schema defined. Once your schema is defined, you digitize document using digitized activities within Studio. So these are all no-code approach, drag and drop controls. And then after decision, you're doing classification to say which models to apply. Then you apply the extraction methods. For example, your extraction may be regular extraction extractor, machine extractor, form extractor, and all. And after that, you are exporting the result back. If in case there is some accuracy improvement needs to be done, you can really bring a validation stress in the middle. That's where training and retraining come into picture. This is how your high-level design principle you can think of how to do. Let's take an example of an invoice processing or finance. This is, let's say, one of the use case which your business is doing. What is this use case? If a high level, if I say, let's say you're in case of finance, there is your operation team who is really doing the invoice processing. They receive multiple invoices over an email, and they read the content and then extract the content and write into a target application. With document understanding, I'll show you here how you're really making the entire process automated. Once your supplier sends an invoice to an email, there is an unattended robot which is reading the email continuously. It downloads the invoice attached over the email and extract the content using document understanding and AI center capability, right? Because this is unstructured in nature, it is not a structured data, you cannot extract with the formula, but using document understanding machine learning model, it understands the entire content, apply the required NLP and textures and all different methods, and once the extraction is done, now it can be processed by extraction data set and can process through another unattended robot to write directly on a target application. In middle, you can also bring the action center where human can do a validation in terms of to do what is the confidence of the entire extraction. So the bot can entirely load this extracted content to a validation station and create a task for a human. So human wants to, like any operation user, can go to the tool and read the content and see, okay, if all the content with the image of the invoice, if looks okay, they give a consent, this looks fine, it can process. So now another robot, if once the consent is received, it can take those details and write directly one of this ERP system, right? So this will be a continuous unattended robot where your bot is running continuous 24/7 without any human intervention. Like you send the details, it extract the content, create a task. The only thing is task involved for human is just to validate and consent. Assume a scenario here, you find this accuracy does not look good. You can also correct it and push that data for retraining. You can define the retraining methods. So once your retraining schedule is reached, this acknowledged from the user will get consolidated and start writing into retraining can be done. So this model keep on improving day by day. So you realize the benefit forward. This is one of the scenario where you can really uh, apply your document understanding methods with AI Center. Let's Let me show you one another scenario where really your NLP can be applied using AI Center with different capability, not only document, but here we'll see how your sentiment analysis is applied in a regular scenario. So to understand the problem statement, what really happens is day to day with this COVID scenario, people are working from home, and one of the challenge we everyone facing today is email flooding, right? So if you every day we start our day, we have hundreds and thousands of emails sitting on our inbox, and with everything being sent with from various sources. And it is a tedious task for every user to say which of my email is really priority, which one I need to focus first. Thousands of email, hundred of email, but if you go through one by one, it is not possible for a user to say, okay, this is what top 10 email of mine, right? So that's where this particular bot will help you with NLP and UiPath, where to really it is helping you to prioritize. What it really does is particularly a bot read the document. Like for example, you receive the email, it extract the email schema like skeleton, for example, sender, subject, body, email, and priority. Once the extraction is done, it validates some static rules. The static rule, for example, as a user, you created your own config file where the static rule can be applied to say which is my priority. For example, I can have one static rule to say if the email is sent from my CEO, it's always priority. So I set the static rule in a config file. So first level of screening being done for a static rule. So once the file is extracted, the bot extracts this detail like extras the sender, subject, and email and priority. It applies the static rule. And once the static rule application is done, that's not enough because we need to read the email content and find out what is the sentiment and intent. That's where this NLP and AI Center come into picture. So one of the model which is deployed in AI Center available to this particular bot that does a text analysis. So this particular body of email being sent to this particular model, email sentiment analysis, it validates what is the sentiment of the email. Sometimes the email may send with a negative sentiment. For example, it says it's escalation. So it bot basically extract the content, apply sentiment, and then based on the sentiment score, it try to set it as high priority, medium priority, low priority, or external email. And after this model, the particular bot run continuously, as soon as you receive email, it gets flagged. So once you start your day, instead of looking at 100 email, you have very set of categorized email by the bot where you know, okay, I don't need to look the 100 email at one go, but my first priority is already defined by the bot. That makes the life simple. This is how the high-level skeleton of the architecture how it is designed. The bot read the email continuously. As soon as the new email received, it get priority based on a predefined rule. If the priority looks high, it flag it to high. If it looks low and medium, then apply sentiment to validate what's the sentiment score. If it is natural, medium, and low, it apply that, and then each of the email get flagged. So you start your day, you always checked flagged email. This is one of the simple example how the bot in action. I have a couple of emails in this particular mailbox. If you see, these are this is a dummy email. So if you see a couple of emails are there unprioritized. Now, once I start the bot, basically the bot started just now. The bot started. It if you see it started flagging the email, right? If there is a label being attached. So this is a high email. You can see this particular email says there is experience in outage, so that means it's escalation email. So it understands the sentiment, saying okay, there is a outage, and it flag the email with negative sentiments. That's why the mail get flagged with red, and this is also another escalation email. So it keep reading those negative sentiment email and then flag it. This is how you can really apply sentiment analysis to your email and get priorities. One of use case where you bring RPA and NLP together, where you see your NLP is helping in terms of identifying the sentiment. RP is helping in terms of extracting the content and providing the data and then updating back. So that's how it's bringing a robustness to the entire platform, where really we are trying to industrialize the entire platform of RPA plus NLP and making life easier. Okay, so that's all about the session, and thanks for attending this.